welcome to the Mindset Arc podcast. And I'm its host, Dim, and it's the fourth episode of the 365 project. Today, I wanted to talk about the importance of practically being in the moment and finding something good in the current version that you're stuck with. So, with these last days of trying to do something every day, not trying, actually doing something every day, I find myself overthinking it too much. When you start any new goal, it is really easy to just fall into a habit of researching a lot. And yeah, I understand why it is. It is a new area. It's so interesting. It's so exciting. It has a lot to give. It just is so fun to explore it. But it's also so easy to become focused on the idea of what you want it to be. I, while re-listening to the previous podcasts that I recorded, I became really aware of how my voice sounds like, how bad my audio quality is. And of course, it is important to pay attention to these details. Of course, I have to re-listen to this if I want to improve. But I just started to spend hours of my day cutting into my other areas of life, trying to improve this sound quality to make it better immediately. And as with any improvement, and especially when you're doing something every day, you don't have enough time to do the research. You don't have enough opportunities to grow between the pieces of content that you have to record, in my example. And I became focused on recording first 3 episodes and seeing that I improved a bit, but I want to be much higher. And I started just beating myself up for it. And that is not a really productive mindset to have. I became so focused on all of the flaws that I noticed that I practically started hating my voice, hated my recordings that I made. And how can you improve how fast can you improve? How much motivation you will have with continuing project of this size? If I if I just if to just go back and listen to something I already recorded requires so much mental energy, so much effort. Will I be able to keep this up for weeks, for months? I don't think so. And I if I would have continued doing that, I would have just set myself up for failure. I wouldn't probably fail in the sense like I quit the project. I know that I will stick to it no matter what. But I would have definitely started hating doing the research and trying to improve here. And even starting recording these videos, it's just would have taken its toll because I would have thought, oh, that's one more day when I will not improve much and I will have to listen to myself doing a shitty job. And there is actually a freedom in thinking like that, but not from the perspective of, oh, how bad I might sound. But if I think about it, if you think about it, if you think about something that you're only starting, if you accept that at the start you will probably not do a really great job. You will stumble upon your words. You will just don't know how else you can improve, or you will know perfectly what you need to do, but you just need a lot of practice. So this thing takes time. I was discussing it today with my coach Andy, and I had some huge realization of about all of this. So we were talking about how improvement takes time, and on anything, it just requires you a lot of repetitions. It just requires you to starting from something. You will suck at the start. You will not do a really great job. But with constant repetitions, with doing something especially every day, but even rarer, like it just requires you to repeat the same thing tens of times, maybe hundreds of times, to become really good at it, or at least decent, or even at least see where you can improve. So it all takes time. And if you hate yourself all the way, if you have to spend half of your energy just to convince yourself to look at the flaws because you hate them so much, you cannot look at them easily. It, the progress will not be so good, yes? I don't think so. So the better approach, as I will try to do from this day, is to actually spend time not on improvement of my content, not on improvement of quality. It doesn't matter at the start. Why does it matter at the start? If you will learn to have better quality in like a couple of months earlier than you would do if you didn't focus on it. So let's take an example of me improving my sound quality, improving my voice even quality, right? I want to speak clearer. I want to speak more coherently, right? And stumble less. And it will take time. It will still take time, but I could spend hours each day just practicing my speech, and yeah, it will become better. But what would happen after 2 months of practice? I probably will speak better, but I will still notice some of my flaws. And I will look again into these flaws and like, how can I improve that? And like, I again hate this thing. Like, I hate seeing these flaws. And I will see how I improve them, and I will focus on that for a couple of months. And it's just a constant battle with myself, this current version of myself. Like, I don't like how I sound, and how can I make it sound even decent? And it gives you a lot of progress, of course. Just focusing on the problem beforehand, it gives you a lot of progress, but you'll just hate the journey, and it will take a lot of energy, and you will have a lot more breakdowns. So ultimately, I think if we're looking at the long run, something like doing something daily every day, doing something daily for a year, it like I am doing right now, it is. I think there is a better approach. So what I'll just going in circles around the point I wanted to make. So the better approach that I will try to do from this point is to not spend time on improving the quality, but spending the first couple of months on improving my relationship with bad quality. So what does that mean? I can listen to my recordings and find some way that I can be, that find something there that I can already like. Find some, create some like 10 points about each of the recordings that I liked about them, that I can be grateful for my current state. And that doesn't mean I don't want to improve. But the time, this precious time, especially at the start of every goal, when you will just get overwhelmed with amount of information, I think spending the time in the beginning, not on the quality, but just being okay with not doing a really great job. You will spend a couple of months on that at the start, and your quality probably won't, it will improve just from practicing, but you won't spend hours each day to improve in it, so it will improve only a bit. But what will happen inside, what will happen in the mental state, you will actually like, in my case, listening to what I recorded already, because I can find something good in it, something that I really like already. If you're doing some other stuff, or if you're doing some other pieces of content, or even doing some just daily tasks like going out to approaching people and talking to them, or um, some maybe gym progress, or I don't know, any goal that you have, or any goal that you only started. Instead of hating your current version, if you will just spend the initial effort on becoming okay with your current version, it will just serve you for all the time after, because there will always be some flaw, and if you want to learn to handle your flaws in a graceful way, in you will not learn liking even your flaws, that you see them, you will always be miserable. You will be less miserable probably when you get some experience and you have less of these flaws, but you will always find flaws because it's your content, it's your creation, it's your goal. You know where you want to be, you know where you want to go, but you're not there yet. And it takes time. You will just don't, at some point you will need to handle this. That's the whole reason. And you can be you can feel pretty bad and like fighting yourself for a couple of months or even years, and then come to the realization that it usually clicks after a couple of years of just busting your ass and working on something, that until I will focus on specifically enjoying what I already have, I will not enjoy it fully. So there will be a point when you will need to focus it. What if you will focus at this point at the start? What if you will find, what if you will be grateful to your current version? I think it makes everything easier after that. It's not a constant skill that you need to practice. Okay, I'll take that back. It's a constant skill that you need to practice, but even getting it to the baseline level gives you so much more energy, so much more relationship with your project that you are doing. So you just improve much faster after that. So it's like an initial period of investment of the first time for you to be okay with any state of this project, even with failures. And they just won't take so much toll after that. You will just enjoy the process. And when you're enjoying the process, everything becomes easier to do and the progress comes easier. And the main point, it will take time. I will say that once again. It always takes time. So what would you rather be? Enjoying this journey? Like this cliche, enjoy the journey, right? But why choose to suffer for a long time when you can spend some time at the beginning and just enjoy it afterwards? It is a hard thing to accept, actually. It was hard for me to accept as well. Yeah, I did that after, like, I had this in mind after only 3 days, but I had already one project behind me. I had some months of heavy realizations about other progress that I made. So I was already at the level when I could accept that it is okay to not focus on quality. It is okay to not go all in from the very start on the goal. It's okay to take my time to get accustomed to that goal, to be okay with my current state. And it will still be hard for me after that. I'm not saying that I mastered it. Not even close. And it will take time. It will take a lot of time to just. It's like a process of brainwashing. Just thinking about the flaws and how the flaws can be actually good. Maybe this me hearing how awful my voice sounds like, it will just motivate me more to improve it in the future. Maybe it will give some of you inspiration of just accepting your version, if I could do that. Maybe I will actually learn to like it. Maybe I will invest in more sound equipment later. But to actually address all of that from the actionable standpoint and not from the, oh, how I hate this thing. If I hate this thing, I won't want to work on it. Why would I? I will just be resentful towards it. But if I actually accept it, then I can look how it can be improved later. So yeah, that's the main reason I wanted to convey today. If you find something good in your current version, you can actually find, you can actually notice something really good that is here right now, that you wouldn't have noticed if you were in a constant battle with yourself, if you were constantly trying to improve to fix the problems. You just don't notice the details, the little details that can actually be cool to live, to improve upon. When we hate something, we hate the whole concept of it. And I hate it. I hated the whole recording. If I go back at it now and really listen, if I really try to listen, I'm able to find a lot of details that I actually liked about it. Maybe how I convey some points, maybe how I talked about some points, and I would want to repeat that again. But if I hate the recording fully, I won't even listen to it properly, because every second in my head will be the thought, oh, how awful it is. How I don't want to listen to it anymore. It just irritates me, like, oh, how awful it is. I won't be relaxed to notice the positives. It's like with gratitude at the beginning. When I had this experience when I was just accustomed to seeing a lot of negatives in the world. I was going out on a sunny day, on an awesome day, and I was thinking about, oh, how awful my life is. And I tried to brainwash myself into looking in the sky and seeing, like, I tried to convince myself that, oh, that looks good, that's like, that can actually feel good, but I haven't felt it. I had to brainwash myself, and I didn't have even the possibility of thinking about these small things that can still be useful even if overall it kind of sucks. It's the same here. It's the same with any project. There is always something good that you can just emphasize upon. But to notice these points that you can emphasize on, you need to just be okay with everything overall, with all of the negatives, with all of the positives. It's like my concept that I will talk about in later videos and podcasts, that I written an article of recently. I will leave a link to it in the description. It's about embracing every moment. It works here as well. There can be a lot of negatives, and negatives are perceived, but in relation to the goal that we want to achieve, there can be like negative things in the sense of they are not not as good, not at the same level as we want them to. But it even makes the something good, some good details, even better. But you need to notice them. You need to have permission to notice them. You need to give yourself permission to notice them. That's the only thing that stops you from enjoying the current version of yourself. Mind wants to. We want to be happy. We just have a lot of stories in our head why we cannot. And when we dismantle them, it actually becomes enjoyable. Yeah, I'll start ending this podcast. I actually didn't want to start it today, especially because of the reason as I was thinking before. Like, I am thinking about these recordings, and it's like, oh, I don't know how to do it perfectly yet, and I will definitely suck at it. Talking about counterproductive thoughts. I would have still done it, but if I haven't accepted, and I'm still going through this, of course. Like, I only started. I only starting from this day to address this issue specifically in this project. But even allowing myself already made a lot of choices. Already made a lot of benefits. I will look back at this recording with something that I want to find, something good that I want to find in it. I'm already looking forward to listening to this recording, and I feel much more relaxed about it as well. So it's already gives me some benefits even when I just started. And when I will practice that for a couple of months, or a couple of next month, focusing more on my mindset about recording myself on camera, about the how can I address it, about the practices of gratitude for that, for me starting this, for me recording this. I I think it will become much more better, and the improvement will just skyrocket after that. And in parallel with all of this mindset stuff, I will still improve a bit just from constant practice every day. Yeah. So my takeaway from that, I rambled a lot about this again, but it's okay. I will learn to have it more concise after some time. But for now, just take it as a permission for you to not even to have the delays at the start. If you won't have the results you want at the start immediately, it is okay. It is okay. You would want to create this into a lifestyle. It's not just some passing thing. Why would you create your goal as something that you want to achieve and forget about? No, it's about how will it make you better? How can you continue that for the maybe not the rest of your life, because our hobbies change, because our interests change, but for at least a couple of years. It will just make it more enjoyable. And so to take some time to reflect on what you are doing right now, to be present more, to be in the moment more. That's why we're talking about being present. It is really important. It gives you a lot of progress. It is hard to notice, but the mental progress is a progress as important, if not more important, than material progress. That's the progress you can actually see in your goal. Your relationship with goal, I think, matters even more. Make it into a lifestyle. At least have the intention at the start to make it into a lifestyle, even if you don't believe it, even if you don't know how to do that. Here's some solutions for you. Write a list of 10, 20 things that you're grateful for your goal, for your imperfect version right now. How, instead of thinking how you suck right now, think about things that already better. Maybe it's just a tiny bit better than it was before, especially after doing something a couple of times. You will definitely notice some progress, some changes. Focus on that. Focus on something that you can already enjoy, something that you can already find. Don't focus on what you're missing. Andy has this awesome concept is to focus, to aim for the win, not to, let me say that again. Uh, Try to win, not to lose, not to escape losses, but aim for the win. So look for something that is already good. Look for something that you can already be grateful for. Escaping something that you don't yet have, it's not really productive. It just brings misery in the long run, I believe. So yeah, I'll leave you at that. Have some practice. Spend some time to invest in your current version, to accepting your current version. It will make a lot of difference in the long run. So yeah, I will have an article about this concept. If you, well, you already listened to all of my rambles, yeah, but there can be a little more details or more dot points. I will have an article about this linked to this video. Yeah, I have a website with a lot of more articles if you want to read them, and of course there will be these 365 projects that I will continue upon. And if someone in the future just goes back and listens to where I started from, hello to you. I tried to find a lot of this stuff in, yeah, like I talked in the previous podcast. in the previous episode. I tried to find a lot of stuff, and it's hard to find someone who starts from the very beginning when it's just impossible to listen to. So kudos to you if you listen to this after some time when I will finish this project especially. I will go back and compare myself to this version. So yeah, I'll definitely end it up right now. Half an hour. That's new record. That's something to be grateful for this for this day, for this improvement. I talked for half an hour. How cool is that? Yeah, yeah. Take some time to be okay with current version of yourself and try to have fun in the process of reaching your goals. And I want to wish you overall have fun